Hello, I'm Sheriff Grady Judd, and did you know I'm a good guy? There are politicians who are trying to push a false narrative that I'm a good guy. Now let me be clear, that's just a lie. Some politicians are perpetuating a myth that just isn't true. And did you know, a recent analysis shows that I'm a good guy. I assure you, I'm a good guy. That's right, good guy. Did you hear me? I'm a good guy.
Say, bro, I think you're gonna have to run the old intro for this one. Yeah, definitely.
For these nose-ass town folks of that redneck ass sheriff. And I'm knowing that he got a job to do, but why should I let him start what I gotta do? Y'all crackers come round to my neighborhood, acting like it's y'all's. Got your hands all in my motherfucking draw.
Florida has a forgiving criminal justice system. Some argue it's a little too forgiving, but we do give criminals second chances and third chances in the right situations.
Like when you work for the government.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah, if you work for the government.
We found Mr. Gonzalez deceased from gunshot wounds in the yard of the residence. We also discovered that there was an active marijuana grow house with approximately 160 pounds of marijuana inside. Did you hear me? That low-level, nonviolent crime they talk about is responsible for a murder.
Cool. So just like the state of Florida can be a victim, now crimes can be defendants. What, did the marijuana plant figure out how to hold a firearm and pull the trigger? Remember, people, it's the prohibition on these illegal drugs that makes the business violent, dangerous, and deadly.
I really do believe in the power of redemption and change.
But only on Sunday when I'm in the Lord's house.
Today, though, it is important for you to know, if someone earns enough sentencing points to get sent to prison in Florida, they have worked very hard. They've earned their way to prison, and that's where they belong.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Be good just to hold them down by your side. Yeah, great.
Well, we're real happy with what was going on, and at the end of the day, you got to be happy.
This is another example, once again, demonstrating the connection between drugs, violence, and death. If they're in prison, they can't prey on innocent victims like you and me. Illegal marijuana cultivation is a large, dangerous, and violent business. Right now in the Florida legislature, there are politicians who are trying to push a false narrative.
Why don't you tell the people how you don't utilize body cameras? And a lot of times, you're kidnapping and caging people based on your agency's false narratives.
That Florida's prisons are filled with nonviolent, low-level offenders. That's just a lie.
Oh, we know you guys are well known for being truthful.
The myth that manufacture and trafficking of illegal drugs, including marijuana, is somehow nonviolent, non-lethal, not serious, is simply a lie.
Just like the myth that police officers are here to protect and serve the public is also a lie.
Senator Jeff Brandes and some other Florida senators want to turn tens of thousands of prisoners out of prison early so that they can steal and rob from you and your neighbors.
Yeah, and they're cutting in on our turf. Only we're allowed to steal and rob from you, and kidnap you, and use violence.
Some politicians are perpetuating a myth that just isn't true. A new study by the Florida Sheriff's Association Research Institute demonstrates what we already know. Drug offenders in state prison are not nonviolent, low-level offenders. They are repeat offenders and dangerous drug traffickers and dealers who poison our children with illegal drugs.
Yo, GJ, I'm sure you're poisoning people with that bullshit you're feeding them in PCJ. Puke on rice? I didn't eat for like 2 days.
Try telling Mr. Gonzalez's family or the innocent people who live in this neighborhood that the manufacture, sale of illegal drugs is not serious, not dangerous, and not deadly. That's right. Data from the Florida Department of Corrections shows that most inmates locked up in Florida's prisons, in fact 56% of them, have been previously convicted of a violent offense.
I feel like every press conference, he just gets up there and says, if I spit a lot of numbers at them, they'll be impressed, and say data a bunch of times, they'll be impressed, and they'll think that we're really preventing crime. Okay.
And over 95% of all prisoners are repeat offenders. A recent analysis examined the criminal history of 10,917 inmates who were convicted of drug-related crimes. These inmates had a total of 269,000 prior criminal charges, or an average of 24 charges per inmate, prior to being incarcerated in the state prison. 91% of these drug offenders are inmates who have committed a forcible felony, a burglary, or both prior to their current prison sentence. Forcible felonies are violent crimes committed against a person. And did you know, this data is only counting when these prison inmates were caught doing a crime. Together, we'll solve this crime.
Whoa, wait a second, TJ. Have you ever solved a crime without help from the public? Be honest, if you can be. First of all, the public has to trust you enough to want to report a crime to you. In my experience, anytime I've ever had to call law enforcement in my life, I've never got help. There's a lot of times people call you for help and then they end up in trouble. So why would they want to call you the next time, or why would they want to help you with something that doesn't involve them? Doesn't make for a good system, does it?
We'll put the people who are responsible for killing him.
And that was not an editing pause. That was just his own weird pause.
Killing him in jail. So how many more crimes, including violent crimes, have they committed? I assure you it's in the hundreds of thousands of crimes. Now let me be clear. I'm a good guy. I believe in redemption. I strongly support appropriate rehabilitation efforts for those who make bad choices and violate our laws while holding them accountable for their crimes.
Unless it's our crimes.
Responsibility for your conduct is a good thing.
Unless it's our conduct.
However, once someone has 10, 15, 20, or 25 prior arrests, they have worked really hard to go to state prison by committing abundant numbers of criminal acts.
You know, it's different if you get sovereign immunity and you resign before you're held accountable and go work for somewhere else and just do the same things there. It never catches up with you.
They've earned their way to prison. Let's keep them there as long as the judge sentenced them for. Please stand with me and our other sheriffs in the state of Florida to support truth in sentencing. Let's not let criminals out of prison early. Let's hold criminals accountable with minimum mandatory sentences. Today, please do me a favor. Contact your legislators with a phone call, a text message, or a simple email. Tell them
that these crackers are out of control and we need to stop this injustice.
Let's keep criminals in jail rather than breaking into your home.
Or stealing your hard-earned money on the side of the road.
Thank you. May God bless you.
That part.
I don't give no fuck about the law. Law don't give no fuck about me. Fuck the law. Fuck the law. I don't give no fuck about the law. Law don't give no fuck about me. Fuck the law. Fuck the law.